Of lately, you must have come across a term in the news: rare earth minerals. These rare earth minerals, or REMs, have become a flashpoint in international relations, especially in US-China relations, India-China relations. In fact, so much so that the Indian government recently emphasized on finding its own REMs across the country. Now, let me give you a little background here. When the tariff war began from American side in early April this year, China, which controls over 90% of the global processing capacity for rare earth materials, suspended export licenses for several key REMs across the world and in many markets. This also included neodymium and dysprosium, citing national security and environmental concerns. Now, post that, following weeks of negotiations, China in June agreed to temporarily resume exports to the US under a 6-month licensing agreement. This arrangement was so important that the US president had to mention this very specific condition when he was announcing US-China trade deal on Truth Social. Now, China's move reminded the world just how reliant major economies are on China for these seemingly obscure but critically important elements. That a handful of elements could hold such sway over global supply chains has sparked renewed attention on rare earths. But what are rare earth elements? How important are they? And why have they become such an important diplomatic tool? Hello, my name is Abhinav Trivedi and you're watching Mint Explains. Let's start with the basics first. Rare earth elements, or rare earth materials, comprise a group of 17 chemically similar metals. The 15 lanthanides on the periodic table, along with scandium and yttrium. Despite the misleading name, these elements are not especially rare in nature. What makes them rare is the difficulty of finding them in concentrations high enough for economical extraction and the complexity of separating them from each other. Now, their value lies in their unique physical and chemical properties, such as high magnetic strength, conductivity, and luminescence, which makes them indispensable in a wide range of modern technologies. REMs are essential for technologies ranging from the mundane to the cutting edge. Your smartphones and your flat screen TVs rely on europium and terbium for color and brightness. Wind turbines and electric vehicles use neodymium and dysprosium in their permanent magnets. Military-grade night vision, radar systems, and precision-guided ammunitions all depend on rare earth materials. Even in medicine, these elements are crucial, from MRI machine use and various rare earth elements helping in producing contrast agents and laser surgery equipment. REMs and their versatility across industries has earned them the label of industrial vitamins, used in small amounts but critical for end product performance. So you see, REMs have become a strategic commodity, essential to national security, advanced manufacturing, and clean energy transitions. Their limited availability in extractable forms, complex processing requirements, and widespread applications have turned them into a focal point of global competition. Now let's come to diplomacy. How have REMs become such an important tool? The reason is over-dependence on one country, which in this case is China. China dominates the landscape, particularly with the Bayan Obo mine in Inner Mongolia, which is the largest rare earth deposit globally. In fact, China's long-standing dominance over refining and supply has exposed systemic vulnerabilities, prompting countries around the world to diversify their sources and invest in alternative supply chains. Please understand, China mines 61% of global REMs and refines more than 90% of the global supply. Although the US, Canada, and Australia are significant non-China producers, they are still heavily dependent on China for refining. Now let's come to the final part of this equation, India. China's export curb had sent the Indian EV industry into a moment of fear. You can analyze the impact this industry can have on Indian EV industry. Now the Indian EV industry faces major setbacks in the forms of production delays as Beijing recently turned down not one but two applications for India-bound shipments. While India has the third largest reserves of rare earth minerals, it has seen little to no investment from private companies and is yet to develop a self-reliant supply chain. India holds untapped reserves along the coastal regions of Odisha, Andhra, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. For India, this global push presents both a challenge and a window of opportunity. Remember semiconductors? Yep, this is the next semiconductor war. Will India be able to overcome its overdependence on China for such materials? Time will tell, and we at Mint shall keep you posted. Shabba khair.